Hey everyone, and welcome to Already Cancelled. I am Peter, that's Connor, and we are going to talk about Star Trek, the original series, Season 1, Episode 23. It's called A Taste of Armageddon. Full spoilers for the episode, as always. So, how do you follow up one of the most notable episodes of the season, and in fact, the series as a whole? You follow up with an episode about computer simulated war. Well, actually, simulated is maybe not the right word.
Yeah, the war's real. Computer simulated attacks.
Yes, yes. So the plot of this one is that Kirk and Co are going to this planet with an ambassador, this diplomat, to negotiate sort of trade and things with this planets in this sector. They're going to Amini R7, and Amini R7 send out a warning saying not to come to the planet, but they go anyway. The ambassador insists upon it, and they go down and basically discover that Amini R7 and this other planet are at war, but instead of actually launching missiles at each other, they do it in a computer. And basically, whatever the computer said, okay, the attack would have hurt this part of the planet, all of the civilians who would have died then get basically have to voluntarily go into a suicide chamber and die to match up with the numbers that said it was killed in the computer.
Yeah, the idea is the war was going on so long and the cultures were stagnating, the buildings, you couldn't move forward as a society. So they go, okay, we'll kill the people, but not damage the planets.
Yes, and Kirk, of course, reacts, and I think quite rightly, with basically a version of "Are you mad? You absolute nut jobs! This is silly." And he's quite right to react that way. I reacted that way for
Yeah,
many a reason, some of which the episode obviously gets into and points out. And so basically, the Enterprise itself, like the other planet, attacks that in its computer. So the Armenians all say, "No, no, no, no! You like all your crew are dead. They have to come down and like voluntarily kill themselves
yeah,
for things to go on. You guys are safe. You are here, but the rest of the crew, Scotty, the ambassador, everyone on the ship, they're all dead." And that sort of presents the main conflict between our crew and this planet in the episode. And then they get held captive. There's a bit of back and forth, and of course, eventually, Kirk saves the day, as he's known to do so. What did you feel about this one?
yeah. I enjoyed it quite a lot actually. I thought it's pretty fun.
I thought it was fun as well. I didn't think it was an amazing episode. I did. I liked. I mean, I liked the main setup. I liked the convincing of them that this is stupid because, of course, you never. The reason why this war's been going on for so long is because you don't really see the destruction, so you don't feel the same need to
Yeah, they don't feel
stop
that
it.
they need to stop it because it's almost just part of everyday life. It's not so there's no horror of
Yeah,
it.
it's become this routine. Now, arguably, the lives all ending should still be horror, but they've been doing that so long, it just feels like this mandatory duty that
Yeah.
they do. So I like that side of it. I did think the episode kind of meandered a little bit in the middle, where it felt like it was going around in the circles a little bit. You know, where the
Yeah.
Kirk and the Co are like held captive, and they're trying to like sneak out, and they end up coming back to the same room to hide, and it felt like that part of the episode went on
Yeah,
for a
yeah,
little
no,
bit
I
long.
think there was some fun bits in there, but it did go on too long.
Yeah. Um, but no, and then the ultimate solution is that Kirk just destroys the computer and is like, well, now you're going to be forced to just talk to each other, and maybe, just maybe, because you don't want to go to war, you'll,
Yeah, yeah. It's talk to each other and stop this, or use actual bombs and ruin all your society.
yeah. But it's also almost funny they cherish their society, their buildings more than they do their people,
Yeah,
which is all in and
it's
of
it's
itself is
the
interesting.
overall culture, isn't it, versus the individual people.
Yeah. But the fact that now that that's threatened, that's what you know convinces them to stop it. It
Yeah,
is a cool idea. And of course, Kirk admits it's a risk, and Kirk and Spock have that nice little exchange at the end where he's like, sometimes a feeling's all us humans have to go on. And, Spock's like, you almost make me believe in, fate or luck. And Kirk's like, Mr. Spock, you almost make me believe in miracles. And they'll have a good hearty laugh about their adventure.
yeah, and it ends like Star Trek.
And it ends like Star Trek. That's pretty much it. Some points on this one that I want to make though is the Mini R7 outfits. Everything the people are walking around in are some of the worst outfits that they've had in the show so far. The hats in particular, I thought looked really really bad.
Yeah,
Someone made one of them in about 3 minutes and went, "That's the hat for this episode," and then they just duplicated it.
Now that you mention it, yeah, you're right. I hadn't really thought about it.
And then the actual outfits that a lot of the soldiers were wearing, they had this weird thing where it was like almost like a dungaree overall that was on top of their, their regular outfit, but it only had one leg. And
Yeah.
then the dungaree part went over the opposite shoulder. It just looked really goofy. I was like, oh man, we're into some proper silly Star Trek costume design with this episode.
Yeah, the civvies, stuff like Anan 7 was wearing, that stuff was all fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. The soldiers, that was pretty goofy.
What I think was interesting about this one as well is you have this diplomat who's like keeps throwing his weight around. He's like, no, we're going no matter what they say. And then when Scotty's treating the planet as hostile, like, no, there's something because obviously they get this message from Kirk saying, oh, everything's going okay, do this, do that, start beaming people down. But Scotty and McCoy are like smart enough to know, this seems fishy. So they have the computer analyze it and go, yeah, it's a voice like duplicator, it's not him.
Yeah.
And so they're like, no, we're treating this as a hostile environment. We have to play this safe and consider our options. And the diplomat's like, no, I will go down, and he's throwing his weight around. And I thought it was really interesting that the diplomat, the one who's supposed to negotiate, couldn't negotiate with the crew. He had to like be strong arm them into it, saying, no, I'm higher ranking in this situation. I'm the one giving the orders. He doesn't actually try to be diplomatic with them. He just
No.
is.
I think the point there is though that he doesn't feel like he should. Like he doesn't try because as far as he's concerned, he does have rank and authority, so they should just listen to him.
Yeah. It's
Like,
almost
it's the idea they should just follow orders.
it almost kind of mirrors the computer thing itself. When it's not until he goes down to the planet and then they immediately want to throw him in a suicide chamber that he's like, wait, what? Like, come on now, diplomacy, please.
Yeah, exactly. So I noticed in this episode, it's happened a few times where Scotty's had the bridge. He's been the one in command while the others are all off, but he does a really good job.
He does, and he
Yeah,
even
like when he's got the shields up and the diplomat's like, right, look, they're stopping, they're putting their guns down. You put the shield down. He's like, no chance.
He's like,
no, not at all.
it's like, no, I can't do it. And he's
Exactly.
like- and he's
And then
basically,
we see them down on the planet going, as soon as they drop those shields, blow them up.
yeah, he's making the exact right call.
Yeah.
To the point where the diplomat's like, I'm going to put a report in about this. You will be reprimanded. He's like, I don't care, sir. Get the
Yeah.
piss off my bridge.
Yeah, he does a really good job when he's acting captain.
Yeah, no, he does. He's dependable. He's the red shirt who makes it through every episode without dying. So
Exactly.
he clearly knows what he's doing.
Exactly.
Oh dear. So it was a fun one. It was a fun, simple idea. We had a lot of like we see obviously the main woman who kind of befriends Kirk a little bit. Who, of
Because
course,
of course.
of course, we have the attractive woman. Although he never really makes a move on her. To be fair,
No, that's true.
of course, she has the same kind of like one sort of strap sash thing going as well. Except she's not wearing a top underneath it, so it's more of a slutty version of what the men are wearing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because of course, Star Trek
yeah,
is
again, that's just par for the course. Isn't it?
as forward thinking as it was still guilty of a few.
Yeah.
Oh, it makes me wonder though. Like, at what point was that because the network demanded certain things, or
Yeah, at what point was it just, no, we need to sell this still?
yeah, you wonder. But look, because we see she's picked for suicide, as it were, from the computer, and we see her like willingly go into this chamber, and like they break her away, and she's like resisting. She's like, no, let me do it. I need to die. This is my duty. This is my honor.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. It was interesting to see how brainwashed this, because we don't get a lot of the public. What I actually did think was interesting though is when they first land on the planet and there's an exterior. They made more of an effort to make it look like there was an active like city behind them, like an active civilization.
They did.
There was people off in the distance.
I think the point was that really showed how, no, this is a normal functioning place. It
Yeah.
doesn't look like it's at war because they made a point of showing us that they don't look like they're at war. Instead, whereas usually we'd just see a bit and we just assume anyway.
Yeah, I think often it's because they usually land on a desolate planet that has one outpost or something like that, or it's a planet with like mostly rocks or sea or whatever. Whereas this case, no, there's a city, there's a functioning world behind you.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah.
So, I was gonna say, what did you think of Spock's telepathy?
That's right. He whips out this telepathy thing this episode. That's not, as far as I remember, has not been mentioned up until now.
It definitely hasn't, because I feel like we'd remember this.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to remember though if it's a thing later as well. I'm trying to remember if there's.
Yeah, I don't remember.
So yeah, they set up this idea that he can do simple telepathy, nothing too complicated, but he can do something simple like in this case, make the guard open the door.
Yeah.
I'll be curious to see if this pops up again. I'm trying to remember if it's in any of the movies. I can't remember. It does make me wonder though if I go back and watch the previous 20 odd episodes, are there other situations where this would have like gotten them out of a situation? Because I feel like there's been a few times where they've been held captive or something like that.
There undoubtedly has been.
Yeah.
But this kind of feels like, the first time that they introduced the Vulcan touch stuff, it was like, where it just kind of came out of nowhere.
But to be fair,
but then it stuck around.
It stuck around. He even used it in this episode. It's been a common thing where, like, Kirk will distract someone and then he'll just walk up and pinch.
Yeah. But for a while, that was just out of nowhere where they just went, hey, this is a thing now.
That was early on enough, though. That was like episode 2 or 3, I think.
Was it that early?
Yeah, it was really early.
Oh, fair enough. I thought it was a little bit later than that.
Yeah, it was pretty early on the first time I seen him use it.
No, fair enough then. That's just me misremembering.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you the exact episode, but it was
No.
2, 3, 4, something in that.
Alright, yeah. This definitely feels a lot more random, where it was like, we need something, this'll do.
I think also it feels random as well because it's like a power, whereas the death pinch or knockout pinch, the Vulcan grip, is kind of like it's like a martial arts move, was almost kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like he's just hitting a pressure point.
Like he could teach that to Kirk. Kirk could do that.
Yeah.
In fact, he's even joked a few times, "You need to teach me how to do that one day, Mr. Spock." Like that's been a line. I'm sure it has.
Yeah.
Whereas he can't teach someone male telepathy.
No, that's a very good point.
So yeah, I don't know how I feel. I don't know. I'd actually forgotten about it until you mentioned it, which just kind of shows how weird it was.
Oh yeah, that was it. It really stuck in my head because it was so weird. Where it was just like, oh, let's just do this, and it felt kind of lazy. Like they couldn't be bothered to think of a way out of the box they'd put themselves in, so they just went, let's just give Spock another power.
And it's weird as well because I feel like there is other way. Like they could have started screaming to like imply something bad was happening.
Yeah. Wait for them to come in and then knock them out.
Yeah, there's ways around it, which maybe makes it feel like maybe it's intentional. They wanted to introduce this because it is going to be a thing going forward.
That's true, and obviously I complain less about it if it becomes a thing. Then obviously this retroactively becomes less of a problem.
Yeah.
But here and now it feels lazy.
That's fair. No, it was but my main complaint was the costumes. I came out of this with those stupid hats. Every time 2 of those guards walked into the room, I was like, "Oh my, what are they wearing?"
It's funny how I'd forgotten about the hats and you'd forgotten about the telepathy.
Admittedly, yours is more of a valid complaint, I think, but
I don't know. I think costume design's a pretty valid complaint still.
Sure, but like, it wouldn't bother me as much as like a thematic thing not working or a character motivation feeling false. Which, to be fair, the character motivations in this are mostly.
I think actually that's a credit to this episode. Then, when you're coming out of this and going, "Oh, the costume design was pretty bad." I mean, for us, not you said, "Oh, it wasn't a great episode." Clearly, it wasn't that bad. If that's one of your biggest problems.
It was fun. It was just it dragged a little bit in the middle, and costumes were bad, and the Vulcan telepathy felt a little bit out of nowhere, as you say, but. That was kind of it. The actual premise was fun. The actual like argument with someone who's fighting this war with computers and believes people have to like die because of it. And
yeah, it's a nice theme as well of the idea of endless war and where does that leave you as a culture and society.
You need to feel the price of the war because it gives you the motivation to make sure it stops happening.
Yeah, it's the idea that war is horrific and that's the point. It should be bad, and if you're gonna go to war. It's kind of saying, look.
You understand?
It's sometimes you are going to go to war as a society, but you need to know why. You need to be fighting.
You need to understand the weight of that decision.
Yeah, and it's saying, sure, and there's a reason why you want to push for peace eventually, not just let it continue on, because otherwise this is what happens.
Yeah. It basically took all the emotion out of death because they were so used to it. Desensitized them to it.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah. I got that's this week's Star Trek episode. Obviously, if you're watching this on YouTube, the next one's already up on Patreon because this goes up a week early on Patreon for the dollar tier or higher. So so check out patreon.com/MailFuzzTV if you want to look at that. Obviously, help us out other ways like liking, subscribing. Let us know what you thought of the episode in the comments below, all that kind of stuff. Get us on Twitter at mailed_fuzz for channel updates. Individual Twitters are on the screen. But that is us once again for Star Trek. So thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next time.